Preserve meat by smoking. If you find yourself in a situation where you've hunted game like a deer, preserving it is crucial for safety and sustainability. Smoking is an effective method, but requires careful preparation and adherence to local laws regarding hunting and processing wildlife. Ensure you have the necessary permits and follow ethical hunting practices. Before smoking any wild meat, positively identify the animal with certainty. It's critical not only for legal reasons but also for food safety. Research and understand proper smoking techniques using reliable resources or seek guidance from experts in bushcraft and survival skills to ensure both quality preservation and compliance with local regulations. First things first, you need a controlled fire. Gather dry wood carefully without damaging live trees, and build your base camp. The fire should be large enough to provide warmth, but small enough to produce plenty of smoke. Aim for low, steady flames that create more smoke than heat. About 3 parts smoke to 1 part flame is ideal. Next up, preserving meat by smoking. To get started, you'll want to gather materials like hardwoods for consistent heat and aromatic woods like hickory or mesquite for flavor. For heavy smoke, consider using chips of fruitwood or other strong-smelling wood. Stack your firewood in a crisscross pattern with good air gaps to ensure the fire burns steadily. Add soaked smoking chips on top of the hot coals once the wood is well underway. Remember, preserving meat safely requires proper temperature control and legal compliance. Always check local laws before setting up any campfire or smoke pit. Now for the meat. You can't just hang it out there, you need to prep it first. Cut the deer into manageable pieces such as legs, back straps, ribs, and tenderloins. Trim off any fat or glands, as these parts can spoil quickly and also pose a fire hazard due to their high fat content. Ensure your cuts are clean and precise to prevent bacterial growth. No rough edges here. Smooth cuts help in the smoking process and preserve the meat effectively. Remember, before you start preserving meat, ensure you have legal permission and follow local guidelines for hunting and processing game. Time to season. Salt is crucial as it helps draw out moisture and inhibit bacterial growth. Rub it generously over the meat. While spices like pepper or chili flakes can enhance flavor, simplicity is key in a survival situation. Use just salt for safety and effectiveness. Less is more when resources are limited. Remember, smoking alone may not fully preserve meat without adequate salting. Always ensure thorough preparation to prevent spoilage. Set up your smoking rack now by finding 3 sturdy branches that fit together like a tripod. These should be thick enough to hold weight, but not so large they won't burn efficiently. Position them over the fire with one leg lower than the others to form a slanting frame. The meat hangs there, low and slow, about 10 inches from the flame, close enough for smoke but far enough away to avoid charring or catching fire. Remember to check local regulations and seasons if you're preparing game meat in a survival scenario. Hang your seasoned cuts of meat on thin wire or fishing line, making sure the pieces are not touching so that smoke can evenly penetrate each one. Avoid overcrowding the smoker to ensure proper airflow around each piece of meat. Remember to check local regulations regarding meat preservation and storage to comply with food safety standards. Now watch the fire closely. If it's too hot, it will burn your meat instead of preserving it. If it's too cold, it won't preserve effectively. Aim for a consistent smoke, with just enough heat to cure without burning the meat. Remember, smoking meat is not only about temperature, but also time and proper ventilation. Ensure you follow food safety guidelines to prevent bacteria growth. Adjust your wood as needed, but always keep in mind that preserving meat safely requires careful monitoring and adherence to local health regulations. Smoke can take anywhere from a few hours to a full day, depending on the weather conditions, fire temperature, and amount of meat being smoked. Be patient, as smoking is a slow process that requires constant attention. Every hour or so, flip each piece of meat for even coverage and check it regularly. You'll know when it's done by its darkened color and leathery texture, but ensure the internal temperature reaches at least 160 degrees Fahrenheit, 71 degrees Celsius, to safely preserve the meat. Always adhere to local laws regarding smoking or curing meat in outdoor settings. When done correctly, smoked meat can last much longer than fresh meat, often lasting several weeks if stored properly. The meat will be tougher but packed with flavor, making it ideal for survival scenarios. However, improper smoking techniques can lead to rapid spoilage within hours, so accuracy is crucial. Always ensure you follow proper food safety guidelines and local regulations when preserving meat. Subject: preserve meat by smoking. Here's the deal. Smoking isn't about speed, it's about care and precision. Properly controlling the temperature and smoke is crucial to preserve the meat safely and effectively. Incorrect handling can lead to spoiled meat or even foodborne illnesses, so constant attention is essential. Always follow local laws and regulations regarding meat preservation, and ensure you have the right equipment for safe smoking practices. Let's dive into the specifics of smoking meat for preservation. Start with smaller pieces, as they're easier to handle and will smoke faster. To generate a lot of smoke, you need to control your fire by partially covering it with dirt or rocks to limit oxygen flow. Less air means more smoke production. Remember, proper smoking involves careful temperature control and can take many hours, so patience is key. Additionally, be sure to check local regulations on open fires in the area where you plan to smoke meat, as there may be restrictions based on environmental protection laws. For bigger cuts, slicing them thinly allows smoke to penetrate more evenly and helps prevent spoilage during the smoking process. Thinner slices do reduce the risk of bacteria growth, but it's important not to slice them too thin, as you still need enough meat thickness for proper preservation. Always ensure that your smoking environment is at the right temperature and humidity levels to effectively preserve the meat safely. Also, check local laws regarding preserving game meat, as regulations can vary widely by region. Maintain a steady, smoky fire by keeping the fuel slightly damp but not soaked. If your fire becomes too vigorous and dry, add small amounts of moistened wood gradually rather than flooding it with water or adding overly wet logs all at once, which can snuff out flames. Aim for a slow, even smoke that preserves meat effectively. Smoke is crucial for preserving meat because it contains compounds that inhibit bacterial growth and repel insects, which can spoil the meat quickly if left untreated. To effectively preserve meat through smoking, ensure even exposure to smoke throughout the process by using proper techniques and equipment. Always follow local laws and guidelines regarding food preservation methods. And here's a tip: use hardwoods like oak or hickory for smoking meat instead. These woods have natural oils that enhance flavor without risking dangerous burns from resinous bark. Birch or pine bark might seem useful due to their aromatic qualities, but they contain high amounts of pitch which can cause fast and hot fires, potentially damaging the meat or starting a wildfire. Stick with seasoned hardwoods known for safe smoking practices. Always follow local laws and guidelines when gathering firewood and respect private property boundaries. Don't rush this process. You're playing the long game out here. Patience is key. Keep a close eye on everything, fire, smoke, and meat, to ensure proper preservation. Remember, smoking meat for safe consumption requires careful attention to temperature and time to prevent spoilage and bacterial growth. Always prioritize food safety and check local regulations regarding meat preparation methods. But what if it starts to rain? Don't worry, cover your smoking setup carefully with a tarp or similar material to protect the meat from moisture, while ensuring airflow for proper smoking. Remember, maintaining the right temperature and smoke flow is crucial for preserving the meat effectively. Always follow local laws regarding hunting seasons and licensing when obtaining meat for preservation. Remember, smoking is not just about cooking. It's about preserving meat safely over extended periods. Smoking treats the meat to prevent bacterial growth and extend its shelf life. Cooking comes later when you're ready to eat. This step requires care, precision, and focus like any other survival skill. Always ensure proper technique and hygiene to avoid foodborne illnesses. Now let's talk about mistakes to avoid. While salt is important for preservation, using too much can toughen your meat and throw off its flavor balance. Always check your meat for signs of spoilage. If anything smells or looks unusual, discard it immediately. Better safe than sorry when preserving meat in the wild. Remember, proper smoking techniques also require following local regulations and ensuring you have the right tools and knowledge to handle meat safely. So you're out there with a deer, and you've got the fire going strong. To preserve meat by smoking safely, make sure to use seasoned hardwoods free from toxic oils, and keep the temperature consistent at around 180 degrees Fahrenheit, 82 degrees Celsius, for several hours or days depending on the cut's thickness. Remember, it's crucial to follow local laws regarding hunting seasons and game handling permits. And always positively identify plants you use for smoking racks with a field guide or expert. Never rely on folklore tests. But remember, this isn't just about making food, it's about survival. Properly smoked meat can keep you fed during challenging times when fresh options are scarce. However, always ensure you follow local laws and regulations regarding hunting, fishing, and preserving wildlife. A well-preserved supply of meat can indeed be crucial for survival in the wild, but only if obtained legally and ethically. So take your time with each step. Properly preserving meat by smoking requires doing it right or not at all. This is no place for shortcuts, especially when it comes to food safety and legality. Always follow local regulations and best practices to ensure the meat is safe to eat and you're following the law. Now check that fire one more time. Ensure every piece of meat is evenly smoked to prevent spoilage. Smoking requires careful attention to temperature and smoke quality. It's crucial for preserving meat safely. Make sure to follow proper techniques and maintain a steady, low heat with ample smoke. You've got this in you. You just have to stick to the plan and stay sharp. Remember, always adhere to local laws regarding hunting and preservation methods. This process works, but only if done correctly. Get it wrong, and the meat can spoil or go bad quickly. So let's be clear. Smoking isn't a quick fix. It's a vital survival skill that demands your full attention from start to finish.